Today we're learning about the Pythagorean theorem and how we use it in real life. So what is the Pythagorean theorem? It is the relationship between the sides of a right triangle. So here we see a right triangle. Here's our right angle right here. We call this guy A, this guy's B, and we can figure out C because A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So what is A, B, and C? A is the length of one of the legs of the right triangle, B is the length of the other leg, and C is the length of the hypotenuse. It's the side opposite the right angle. And how do we prove it? We copy the right triangle 4 times and arrange them as shown in this picture. So here are 4 right triangles, and we put them together so they form one big square on the outside and one little square on the inside. We know that the area of any rectangle is length times height. So the area of the big square is A plus B times A plus B, which is simply A plus B squared. The 4 triangles, the area of that we calculate as 1/2 of A times B, and we have 4 of them, so we multiply by that 4, which simply gives us 2AB. The little square in the middle is simply C times C. That'll give us the area of that square, and C times C is C squared. So we just put these two equations together. On one side we have this, A squared plus 2AB plus B squared. On the other side we've simply put the 4 triangles and the little square together, and we know both of those equal the same thing, which is the area of the big square. And the way we get this guy here is we simply cancel out the 2AB on this side and the 2AB on this side, and we get A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So how do we use it in real life? Well, we can figure out the measurements of the roof on this house. We see here we have a right triangle right here. So here's our A, here's our B, and here's our C. So if we take A squared plus B squared, we can figure out C squared. And we take the square root of that, and it simply equals C. What else can we do? Well, we can figure out how far up the mountain the finish line is, because we have a right triangle here. Here's our A, here's our B, and here's our C. So we calculate A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Taking the square root of C squared gives us C. And we can figure out how far it is from the catcher to the second base. Here's our right triangle here. This would be A, this would be B, and this is C. So A squared plus B squared equals C squared. And that's the Pythagorean theorem.